Despite FBI objections, a controversial partisan memo about the Bureau could be made public tomorrow.
The classified documents reportedly attacks both the FBI and the ongoing Russia probe. KCAL9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us now with a Democratic response to all of this.
Yeah, it's hard to remember the last time a memo actually sparked this kind of huge reaction like this across the country. It has already sparked a firestorm in the nation's capital, and the memo hasn't even been released yet. But get ready, because multiple reports tonight indicate the inflammatory Republican memo charging serious abuses by the FBI will likely be made public tomorrow, and the fallout from that could have national repercussions. President Trump addressed questions about the controversial GOP memo with a wave, but not an answer.
Mr. President, have you decided if you'll release the memo?
But according to multiple reports Thursday night, the president's expected to give a thumbs up to releasing the GOP congressional memo. And House Republicans appear ready to make the document public on Friday. That, according to administration officials. The memo, overseen by California Republican Congressman Devin Nunes, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, makes the case that the FBI and DOJ, the Justice Department, carried out improper surveillance on Trump campaign officials, specifically secretly eavesdropping on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. And it has triggered fierce battles between the FBI and the White House and between Democrats and Republicans.
There is a problem with several people in some of the highest levels in the Bureau.
What this memo does is it seeks to torch every floor of the FBI building to protect the president.
Democrats charge the memo, written by Republican staffers, is distorted and based on inaccuracies and could result in a government crisis if it ultimately leads to the firing or departures of the FBI director and/or the deputy attorney general or the special counsel directing the Russia investigation.
They ought to be sending the message instead to the White House that were the president to fire Bob Mueller or Rod Rosenstein, that would be considered obstruction of justice, and it would bring down the administration.
CBS News quotes sources as saying FBI Director Christopher Wray told the White House Monday night the memo contains inaccuracies, and he's concerned that it paints a slanted narrative. And there have been some reports indicating that Wray could even resign and walk away if the memo is released. House Speaker Paul Ryan took issue with the Democrats and law enforcement officials and poo-pooed the notion that the release of the GOP memo would result in the disappearance of top federal law enforcement officials.
What this memo is Congress doing its job in conducting legitimate oversight over a very unique law, FISA. What this is not is an indictment on our institutions of our justice system. This memo is not an indictment of the FBI, of the Department of Justice. It does not impugn the Mueller investigation or the Deputy Attorney General.
But Democrats see the Republican memo in a whole different light.
I described it as a book report by a junior in high school at 1 o'clock at night, written at 1 o'clock at night with 2 Red Bulls under their belt, and they haven't read the book.
Former FBI Director James Comey responded to the memo with a nuclear tweet. American history shows that in the long run, weasels and liars never hold the field, so long as good people stand up. Not a lot of schools or streets named for Joe McCarthy. And House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi blasted fellow California Congressmember Devin Nunes, who spearheaded the confidential GOP memo, releasing this statement. Congressman Nunes has disgraced the House Intelligence Committee since pledging to recuse himself from the Trump-Russia investigation. Congressman Nunes has abused his position to launch a highly unethical and dangerous cover-up campaign for the White House. Now, here's what's supposed to happen next. The Washington Post reporting tonight that the White House confirmed that President Trump has already read the GOP memo, and he's expected to formally approve its release. At that point, the memo would then be transmitted back to the House Intelligence Committee because the committee has the authority to make it public. So we'll have to see how this plays out tomorrow.
Oh, there's a lot to see how with this issue. And also, I understand there's a battle brewing between the Republicans and Democrats here in California. They're pitting being pitted against one another. What's going on with this?
It's sort of like a battle within the bigger battle, you know, and we alluded to it in our report tonight with the criticism from House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, whose district is in San Francisco, going after House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, whose district is in Visalia. But it goes deeper than that because the top 2 Democrats in Congress officially called on House Speaker Paul Ryan tonight to remove Nunes as the Intelligence Committee chair, charging that he has turned the panel's proceedings into a charade and a cover-up campaign. And several other California Democrats, including a couple of them who sit on the Intelligence Committee, joined in that move to oust Nunes as committee chair. So where we go from here, Elsa, your guess is probably better than mine.
All right, Dave, thank you so much.
Sure.